What's up, shitters and poopers?
Farters and tooters.
It's I, Brendan, and I have a strawberry peach LaCroix.
And I'm Bridget, and I have ice water.
We're siblings of the Tome, and it's motherfucking
Tome time. Wow.
Yeah, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
What's up?
What's the thing we're doing?
Today we are going to be talking about one of our favorite book series that we have read.
You can put those words in my mouth?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah. Confidently with my full chest.
We're going to talk about the entire Mistborn Era 1.
Wow.
Damn.
That was authoritative. I will like it.
The whole damn thing.
The whole damn thing.
1 through 3.
Should we do... I feel as though we should maybe do like a spoiler-free general overview.
Yeah.
This is if you haven't read Mistborn and you think maybe you should possibly add it to your TBR.
Sure.
Okay.
You should. Mistborn Era 1 is fantasy.
Yes.
You could say heist in some parts.
Yes. Heist. It's
military.
Found family
type shit.
Yeah. Yes. It is one of the cooler magic systems I've ever read.
Yeah. Well, okay, let me say this. We're talking Brandon Sanderson here.
Yeah.
So if you're going to like this if you're looking for characters and plot.
Yes.
There's no real poetry, no complicated
He's
prose.
Not like a wordy descriptive guy, really.
Yeah. There's some good themes, but it's basic like fantasy type themes where it's like fighting against.
Right. Very much the hero's journey-esque. Yeah.
So I would say it's mostly like character plot type shit.
Yes. But in a really f***ing cool way.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, like
not in a boring way.
Yeah, like you were saying, one of my favorite magic systems.
Yeah, for sure.
And a pretty like deep world, whereas there's a lot of like history and lore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He puts a lot of work into making it all make sense, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It also, for those that care, which was me, is a female main character.
Mm-hmm.
And in a way that is cool and not
cringe.
Yeah. Like a virtue signal or something. I don't know. And I also loved just the journey that you go on through the series. You do not end up where you think you will end up.
No.
And I love books that do that, that keep me on my toes and keep me wondering what's going to happen next. And not in like this is a thriller type of way, but just in like generally, I don't know what's going to happen.
It's just he subverts your expectations, if that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely fantasy tropes, but he does it in a different and cool way.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
Yeah. I just want to say more about the magic system, but it's just sick. I don't know. It's just fucking cool.
It's really
It makes
cool.
me wish that I could do stuff.
Do stuff.
I'm just a regular guy.
And I honestly feel like, especially for the bulk of Sanderson's work, they're pretty big books.
Yeah.
These ones are relatively normal sized in my opinion. And I also think they're relatively easy to grasp because sometimes fiction and fantasy, like you really have to be paying attention to understand the world and understand the magic system and the ins and outs of how the world works. Mm-hmm. And I feel like this one was a little bit easier to understand what was going on.
Yeah, some of that I think is because of his prose. Like this is kind of like at points it feels a little YA in the prose.
Agreed.
Which I'm not saying is a con.
No.
It just is very like straightforward, easy to understand. Like the world and the magic system are complex, but it's explained to you in a very simple way.
Yeah, agreed.
Should we do like?
Yeah, I feel
should
like
we get into it?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, read the books. We're gonna do full Mistborn Era 1 spoilers.
So yes, if you have not read all three.
Yeah, Mistborn, Final Empire.
Yes.
I guess. Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages. They're right here.
Dee.
Okay.
This is your last warning. Proceed with caution.
Bang bang. Okay. I think it would be fun to rank them.
Okay.
Don't look at my ranking.
Oh.
There's no chance that they're not the same. I feel like there's an obvious ranking here.
I agree.
So what's yours?
The third book is in first place.
Obviously.
The first book is in second place.
Okay.
And the second book is in third place.
Perfect. So what's your ratings? Do you remember them? I wrote mine down.
I think I was 4 stars on the first one. No,
There's
wrong.
no way.
4.5 stars on the first one. 4 on the second one. 5 on the third one.
Wow.
I really liked the way this series ended. I really, really did.
Me too.
Indeed.
Sorry. Yeah, I have the same ranking. Hero of Ages at spot number 1. Final Empire at 2, or Mistborn. I'm still confused what the title of the book is. Is it just Mistborn or is it Final Empire?
I think it's called Final Empire, but it was like a little bit of a...
Yeah, this one just says Mistborn.
Is that the last one?
This is the first one.
Yeah. I think they... You know what? I'm going to shut up because I don't know. But like when you type it in on like Goodreads or Fable or whatever,
it says Final Empire.
It says the Final Empire.
Yeah. So Mistborn or the Final Empire.
I wonder if he just in his new covers rebranded it because so many people call it Mistborn that people were like, "Where's this fucking book?" Because they don't know the actual title.
Okay.
Anyways,
yeah, Hero of Ages number 1, Mistborn or Final Empire 2, and 3 is Well of Ascension. I rated book 1, I rated a 4.5. Book 2, I rated a 4.
Twins.
And book 3, I rated 4.75.
Amazing.
Almost a 5.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Bangers.
Bangers.
What would you rate the series as a whole out of 5?
The series as a whole? Well, I only do half stars when I rate. I don't do quarters of stars.
Sure.
I never have. I guess I could change. I just have always done that.
If I have the option to, I'm doing it.
Fair. So I think maybe on a whole, I'm going 4.5.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say too.
Yeah. Because even like the slower parts, I'm still really engaged in the story.
Yeah.
And I think as a whole, kind of like I said earlier, this goes places that I could not have anticipated. There were so many things that were shocking to me. And I also just like, I really, really love these characters.
Yeah, dude.
There's a lot of them that just feel really like personal and special to me.
There's book 3, really is what brought this series together for me. Like,
totally
it's such
agree.
a perfect ending book, especially when it comes to characters. Like, there's characters like Spook.
Yes.
Who for most of the series is just like a side character. And then you go through his character development in book 3 and you get to see how Brandon like planned it out and how it all comes together and how Spook has this final like epic ending that's so sick. And he was almost my favorite character by the end of that book.
Really?
Like I give him like second or third place.
I mean, yeah, that's very true.
And then the same thing with like Tensoon.
Mm-hmm.
I love Tensoon. Like he was almost like every point of view with him in book 3, I just loved it. I was eating it up. Dude.
I agree.
And then it's the same thing as Spook, like getting to see how Brandon like just like plants these little seeds of like
throughout the whole
Kandra
thing,
and then Osair and then Tensoon, and it's just like comes together so beautifully. It's awesome.
Crazy the amount of work that he puts in to make these books wrap up the way that they do. Like just the sheer amount of planning that you would have to do to execute something like this
crazy.
Is bonkers.
I don't have the mental aptitude to do anything near that,
dude.
I barely had the mental aptitude to think of the word aptitude. That's where I'm at.
I've had people ask me before about writing a book just because I like to read so much. Yeah. And my answer is always no.
There's no way.
Every time. Because I read shit like this and I'm like, what world would I be writing that kind of shit?
Yeah, there's no way.
There's no way.
Even writing my notes for this book was hard. I could never write a book, dude. I read you the first line of my journal entry I found in this. There's no way.
Why is waking up hard?
Don't tell people that. That's private.
Private?
That's private information.
Everybody thinks that waking up is hard. If you don't think waking up is...
it's embarrassing that I wrote it in my journal and now you told everyone.
Not embarrassing. All right. I'm sorry. I shared your private life on the internet.
Anyways. Do you want to do another silly thing?
I love silly things.
Top 3 characters.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You have to go first.
Okay. You're going to be really mad.
Why?
Because.
Okay.
Number 1, Sazed.
Okay.
I feel like.
Duh.
Number 2, Ellen Bencher.
Really?
Yeah. Because of the way he ends in book 3.
Okay.
The part where the Kolos army is like pouring into the Kandra
base. Sure.
The Pits of Halcyon.
Yeah.
And he basically gets up and he's like, all right, everybody, we're all going to die.
Let's
it's
fucking
time
do it
to
anyway.
Do your last stand. And he like hypes them up. And then he just goes out and has everyone burning ATM. And it's just so fucking badass, dude. It's so sick. And it's also cool to me because like he comes from like his background is being like a scholar and like a politics guy. Like
the entitled rich.
Yeah. He doesn't want to be a war hero, dude.
Yeah.
And he goes through this crazy journey where he's like kind of conceding on like his beliefs.
Yeah.
Like he's like, I don't, this isn't how I want to do it, but I have to because he believes he's the best person for the job. But if he does it the way he believes, it's not going to work.
Right.
Like you see that in book 2, like he
does like a total
pretty much.
deconstruction of everything he thought would work.
Yeah, he's like, oh, we're basically going to have like this voting system, and like he ends up getting voted out or whatever.
Right.
And then he kind of he just goes on this journey where he's like, well, I guess I have to concede these points. Whatever. All this to say, like, in the end, he's just become like this totally different person, but still like Ellen Bencher.
Yeah.
And that speech was just so badass, and the way he goes out is so sick that it's like I just love him.
That's
I just
so
thought he was
fair.
so cool.
Yeah, that's so fair.
Number 3 is a tie, and Vin's not in it.
Really?
It's Tensoon and Spook.
Okay, that's so fair though, because Tensoon's like his storyline is bonkers to me.
Crazy.
It's so cool. And honestly, I feel like any of these characters, I could say the same thing.
Yeah.
But like, if his journey had gone even slightly differently, none of this shit would have worked.
No. Yeah.
And it's so beautifully crafted.
Yeah. It's just great. And then like, I mean, a lot of the things that like put these people, except for Sazed, like Sazed kind of the whole time I just loved him.
Yeah.
Like there's not really.
How do you not?
It's just his character voice is like so unique, and like his like position in the group was just like, I don't know, it just felt good. It was just really comforting to have Sazed there, and I just loved him throughout the whole thing. But what was I saying? Oh, Tensoon, like seeing him in the Conjure community and like being the exile and like just having to like have his own little rebellion in that community just made me love him so much. I just, and like also like him kind of betraying
I don't remember the name.
Ellen's brother.
Yeah.
Zane.
At the same time.
Betraying Zane and then like being like, oh, Vin is like the new Lord Ruler. Like, I don't know. Yeah. I just thought he was really, 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 really interesting.
I totally agree.
And he ties with Spook because book 3 Spook is like the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
He's just so cool, dude.
Yeah, it's a cool storyline. It's honestly kind of insane to me. And I feel like this has happened in why is my brain stopping? His other series? Please help.
Stormlight Archive.
Thank you. Where like book 1 and book 3 are like totally different.
Yeah.
Not necessarily like the end game is different, but like I just genuinely could not be further apart.
Yeah.
If that makes any kind of sense. Like the way that I understood the characters in the story in book 1 versus book 3 are like
completely different.
Totally different.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
It's cool.
Like, would I have ever imagined the Khandra to have such a huge role in the way that this story transpired when I was reading book 1?
Yeah, or to have like their whole like government and society, like up until going into the Pits of Halcyon and like seeing how their society works, I kind of thought of them as like wild animals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, for sure.
So yeah, I understand what you're saying.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
And such a cool way to write.
Yeah.
To have like so much to still do by the end of the series.
And it's also like the scope just gets way bigger.
Yeah.
Like book 1 is very much like a heist.
Emperor.
Yeah, a heist and like overthrowing the Lord Emperor. And then the thing happens in book 2. And it just we're doing spoilers.
Yeah, you could say.
Vin goes to the Well of Ascension and lets out Ruin or Wrath or
Ruin.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I've been reading
maybe?
The Faithful and the Fallen, so it's like both titles of books, so it gets confusing. And the scope just goes and now it's
blows
like
all the way up.
Now it's a Thanos level threat.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Anyways, those are that's my top 3 characters.
Okay.
Ranked, the whole series.
My first one is also Sazed.
Yeah. how could you not?
I know. I probably harp on this too much. I feel personally connected to Sazed because of the journey that he goes on as a character throughout this book.
Yeah.
And having a lot of like relevance to my own personal journey and my own personal life over the last few books. And so it just, every time I got it to be in his mind was just like, I don't know, honestly, like a little bit healing for me.
It's cathartic.
Yeah. So I just really related to him as a character, and he, like you said, it's just comforting.
Yeah.
He's just a comforting character.
I wanted to be my friend so bad.
Yeah. I would have to actually say that Tensoon is my second place.
No way, really?
Yeah, I really loved him.
He's such a good character.
I loved him. He made the last book for me, honestly.
Oh, dude, yeah.
And I actually.
I'm so sorry. I just remembered about the Tensoon fucking Sazed team up when Tensoon becomes a big horse, bro.
Yeah.
And Sazed rides on him. Amazing. I love it. Perfect. Keep going.
Yeah, the part where wait, am I remembering this wrong? Where he like makes himself a new body out of metal?
Out of metal.
Did I just make that up in my brain? I'm gonna research that and come back to it.
Yeah, I don't remember. I know that like the
when he
Conjuras.
Was in the, when he was in the let's say what you were gonna say, because now my brain's.
Well, all the Conjuras like true bodies are made of like different like rocks or like minerals. And
right.
Shit. But I don't remember Tensoon being metal. Maybe I just forgot that part.
I mean, there's a good chance that I'm mixing
some
stories. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Third place for me is Vin.
Vin? Yeah.
It is. I don't know. Like, if I look at the series as a whole,
yeah,
I have to put her there.
That's fair.
I do really like her as a character. I know lots of people have feelings about Vin, which is totally fair. But I don't know. She feels very like real to me, which I appreciate in a character. She feels very like, I don't know, like her struggles are normal, you know? And I think I also really liked her part of the third book. I thought it was kind of bonkers. Obviously not in the same way that like Spook's storyline is.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I liked her. I liked her as the main character. I thought she really helped carry the story along. I really liked I can't remember the name.
Describe to me.
The little shadow thing that follows her around.
The Mist Spirit?
Yes.
And then
that whole thing?
Yeah.
Love.
When because it's Ruin.
Yeah.
Ruin is the Mist Wraith or whatever they call it.
That's the word I was looking for.
No, that's not right. The Mist Wraiths are the Conjuras before they become Conjuras. Remember it's in book 1 where you see most of them. Not Kaladin, Jesus Christ, Kelsier when he takes Vin into the mist and they see like the monster and it's a mist wraith.
Yes.
And it's like it's kind of like an amalgamation of body parts.
Yes.
That's what the Conjura are before they get their blessing.
Yes. Okay.
Is it called blessing?
I don't remember.
I can't remember, but yeah.
Anyways. You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yes.
That whole storyline was fun for me.
Yeah, I liked it too. It was crazy when when Ruin took on like her brother's taking on her brother's voice the whole time.
Yes.
And she kind of was just like, oh, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Tying Ruin in at the end of the book, like seeing how he was influencing characters throughout the series was so sick, dude.
It was way cool. And the reveal too of how that was happening with the metals.
Yeah, when you find out about how he's I can't remember what they call in the book, dude. I'm reading too many books. When you find out how he's using the spikes to like control people.
Yeah.
And just like Marsh is a whole conversation.
Yeah.
We can get it
later. Okay.
But like the earring specifically.
Oh, the earring was crazy.
That was the best part about Vin in the book for me, in book 3 for me.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why she didn't make my top 3, because like the character development for her in book 3 just wasn't as dramatic for like 100%. As it was for like Sazed and Spook.
Yeah. She had a lot of character development.
Yeah, it just
not
wasn't.
In book 3.
It was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of it's in the first 2 books.
Yes.
Which, I mean, you could argue that Tensoon's like not even in book 1.
Right, he's not.
So it's like, yeah, or
barely,
Spook doesn't really have much character development in book 1.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's all.
It's fine.
It's all
I get
personal.
what you're saying, though. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just crazy to see like how Ruin was influencing all of these people throughout the whole series, and like you just don't really understand
the scope
Yeah.
until you get like literally almost to the end
Yeah.
of the book. Yeah.
Yeah. And even like parts like remember when Spook like gets stabbed
Yes.
and then he starts seeing Kelsier.
Yeah. And he thinks he's literally seeing Kelsier.
And Kelsier's like, "Oh, leave that part of the sword in for whatever reason. I don't remember. Like it'll make you like tough or whatever."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's kind of weird, but like sure, whatever.
Yeah.
Kelsier said it. And then later I'm like, "Oh my god, Spook has the spike in him, bro." Like I did not realize it for so long. I had the same
journey. It took me forever to figure out why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also was like, "Holy shit, Kelsier's back." And then, like, literally the next time, Kelsier's like, "Kill him," and I'm like, "All right, I don't think that's Kelsier. That's something weird is happening right now." But yeah, that is crazy.
Oh, so crazy. Yeah. That's a fun exercise. I don't like ranking my characters.
Sorry.
That's fine.
I thought it would be fun.
That is fun.
And it was fun. Look at how much talking we just did. It's a lot of talking.
We can yap. That's one thing we know about us.
Yeah.
What was your next thing?
I just kind of wrote pros and cons.
Oh.
I don't know how to take notes. Yeah.
That's fine.
What do you got?
Well, most of my research, honestly, is just helping me to remember this story. I mean, I don't know if this is allowed, but I want to know your thoughts on the actual Well of Ascension, as in like the pools, because I feel as though they show up
in the Stormlight Archive.
In the Cosmere, yes.
Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. Because you have like Cultivation's pool,
right?
Was a big point in one of the books in the Stormlight Archive that all blends together for me. And Odium's pool, like I'm sure they're connected.
Yeah.
It definitely seems like they are. It seems like Ruin is on a similar level as Odium.
Yeah, it makes
I don't think it's the same guy.
No, it just makes me wonder if I don't know, like how many of these pools exist.
Yeah.
And how many of them have beings trapped like this
yeah.
person was? Do you know, like, do we know all of the power players essentially, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And also like the battle between Ruin and Preservation is very similar to Odium and like Honor, or Odium and Cultivation. Like it's they're balanced. They can't actually like harm each other, but they can trap each other. It's like this very complicated thing that's like, it's definitely connected. 100%.
Yeah. I'm really intrigued by that. Yeah. And I also love / hate the way that he just slides this shit in there.
Yeah. Dude, I thought that what's his name? I can't remember his name. What's Wit? What's his name?
Oh, Hoyd?
Hoyd. I thought Hoyd was gonna do way more shit because he appears in book 1 and book 3.
Yeah.
As like an informant. Which was cool to see, but I thought he was kind of like gonna do
things. Yeah, but he's not really involved in this.
It was just cool to see him. He's also in Tress. You remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
He shows up everywhere.
Yeah.
We love Hoyd. Anyways, I kind of deviated there. I just find the way that he sneaks these things in very fascinating.
Yeah, he loves gods, dude.
He really does.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a cool. I mean, it makes for a cool story.
Yeah.
You're currently reading about gods in Faithful and the Fallen.
Yes.
So.
Kind of. They haven't really showed up that much.
That's fair.
That's not true. One of them definitely showed up in a big way.
Anyway. Off topic.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of just wrote some pros and cons.
Okay,
I already talked about Ellen Tensoon. Sazed in book 3 is like excruciating.
Tell me more.
And it's a pro.
Okay.
It was just so painful to just watch him struggle, dude.
Yeah.
And everyone around him is like, dude, snap out of it.
It's like, all good, my guy.
We need you right now, and you're
lost in your own little weird. Yeah.
And it's just nice to see. The way it ends where he realizes that Tensoon's kind of like giving him this information that like he needs to revive his people's like religion, and then he like runs off and they do their whole thing. It just was so satisfying.
Yeah.
Like I love when I get to see one of my favorite characters just get beat up, and then getting to see them like succeed after.
Yeah,
you know,
see what it was all for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he becomes God, which is crazy.
Amazing. Literally amazing. Could not have happened better in my opinion.
Him being the actual like hero was not something I predicted.
Me either.
But once he starts like, when he starts realizing it, then you're like, oh my God, he's been like from day one. Brandon has been
prepping. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, and I love also that the way that Brandon prepped us for it shows Sazed as like a very normal dude.
Yeah.
Who goes through the same type of shit as everybody else. I don't know. I think there's something really poetic about that.
Yeah.
In that it isn't someone like Vin.
Right.
Who is like some crazy hero that learns how to do all this shit.
Yeah.
And that's why they become.
One.
Yeah. Like, no, he's just a normal dude with a good heart.
Yeah. He's just a good guy.
Yeah. I just really, really appreciated that.
I did not like. It felt to me that Tinwil kind of. I was excited for her to like have a whole thing, and then she kind of just got killed so that Sazed could have his
character progression.
I really like Sazed's character progression, but it just made me sad that like Tinwil felt like she was in the book just
to further his story. Yeah.
Because it's like you don't really get. You have Vin.
Yeah.
That's it.
Pretty much.
And then you have like Breeze's like girlfriend.
Oh yeah.
She's a very much a side character.
Yeah, I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
So I would have liked a little more Tinwil in the series.
I totally agree.
I mean, I guess she also was there for Elend too, but it's like I want her to have her own thing.
Yeah, I agree. She's very much a like. It would have been nice to know anything about her.
Yeah.
I mean, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Or to have her do like, I don't want to say something, and she does stuff that's impactful.
Yeah.
She coaches Elend through his whole thing.
Yeah.
And then does research with Sazed.
Right.
But that's kind of it.
Yeah, it fell a little flat.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's a book 2 thing. We all know book 2 is fine.
Book 2 is fine. Book 2
has a really good ending, which is why I got a 4.
Does have a really
That's
good
why
ending.
I got a 4.
That's super fair.
Yeah.
Book 2 Elend was rough for me.
Yeah.
Book 2 Elend pissed me all the way off.
Kind of book 2, everyone was kind of just like,
yeah, why would they all be an idiots in book 2? Agreed.
Yeah. Do you want to talk a little bit about Marsh?
I mean, sure.
Do you have any I don't know, how do you feel about it? Do you have any like
I'm sad is how I feel about it.
Did you listen, I kind of forgot about Marsh's existence for a while.
That's super fair.
And then book 3 starts off. Do you remember how it starts off?
Yeah, isn't it him
trying to kill himself?
Yeah, and not being able to.
Yeah, and that's how book 3 starts.
Yeah.
Dude. It's so heavy. But I just thought it was really cool, like, getting to see, like, how Marsh still really cares about everyone. The whole Kelsier crew.
Yes, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah. But because he's got is it called hematurgy?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called in the book?
I think so.
It's got the hematurgic spike.
Right.
He can't do anything
about it.
His master plan is to stay out of Ruin's influence just for long enough that he can pull his spike out to kill himself.
Oh.
It's heartbreaking.
So sad. Ugh, yeah, it was so sad.
Yeah. And there's just the way that, like, when he has to submit to Ruin's will and he's, like, doing these, like, crazy acts of violence and just, like, murdering people. And
hating.
The way that Brandon, like, puts you in his psyche and, like, showing him, like, enjoying it, but it's not really Marsh. It's so hard to explain if you haven't read it. It's hard to explain. But it's, like, Marsh is enjoying it. Like, and that's part of, like, the spike. But then, like, deep down, Marsh is just, like,
this is
trying to kill himself.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, like, it's just
the layers.
So emotional. Yeah, it's crazy.
Really emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He in any other book, he would have been my favorite character, but the cast is just too stacked.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really fair. Yeah. I mean, I really don't have anything else to say about him except that it was the saddest thing in the whole world.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring him up because he's just like, I don't know. You kind of forget about him. Like,
yeah.
Well, they set him up in book 1, and he becomes the Inquisitor, and you see the carnage of him becoming an Inquisitor, right? You see like the bodies that are dead, and that's kind of it. And you just don't understand
what's going on.
And then he's not really. He's like in book 2 a little bit with Sazed, and like definitely at the end with Sazed where he like almost kills him.
Yep.
And shit. But that's kind of it. And then book 3 is like.
It starts in his POV.
POV, and then you get to see like how the Inquisitors were made and how they have to like basically stack bodies and stab a spike through them to suck all their power. It's
horrific.
Yeah.
Actually.
It's awesome.
Yeah. But you also, I think it really builds like a level of respect for Marsh.
Yeah.
That he can still exist in that way.
Yeah.
Deep down after all this time, and especially after like how, like you were talking about, like the layers of him liking it, but also like the conflicting almost like personalities that exist inside of him. And from what I could kind of glean, that isn't like a normal thing.
No, he's like
not normal in that. And so I think you know, obviously you gain a whole like level of respect and empathy.
It's like
for his position.
Almost just his amount of his like force of will and
amount of love.
Magic card. Force of will is a magic card.
It
Sorry.
Is?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it is. Anyways. Sorry. Yeah, his force of will, and then just like his deep love for
his people.
Kelsier.
Yeah.
And his whole crew, Vin and all them, but it's and then also like Kelsier's wife, which is like a whole nother thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that momentarily.
Yeah, and his love for the ska, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's crazy. He's a whole guy.
He's a whole guy. And there are so many layers to this story.
Yeah.
It is bonkers crazy.
There's a lot of room for like theory crafting, especially like with it being in the Cosmere. It's like
so many.
That's not my job though, dude. I can't.
Oh, no.
I'm not the theory crafter.
You're coming here for theories. It's not us.
No.
We're not the ones.
Yeah.
We just like to read them.
Yep.
Oof.
Anything else you want to talk about Mistborn Era 1?
Era 1.
Have you read Era 2?
No. I would like to eventually.
Yeah. I have.
You do? Oh yeah, you just told me that.
Yeah.
Wait,
oh yeah. off the cam. You were talking about that.
Yeah, I would like to read them eventually. I have a lot of other things that I want to read before I read those.
I think it'll be when I hit a reading slump, I'll crack them open.
Yeah, since you have them.
Yeah.
That's super fair. Yeah, I don't know. I have a hard time with things like that because it's difficult for me to want to stay in the world and not with these characters.
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part for me. Is like if I go back to this story, I want to read about these people.
Yeah.
You know?
And yeah, I have no idea what Era 2 is even like. How far of a time skip is it? Like, I don't know any of that. I know there's guns.
Yeah.
But like, I'm assuming that like Vin and Elms and Sazed will be in it in a
way.
godly way.
Right.
It would be really cool if Spook was in it.
Yeah, it would be. We shall see.
Oh my god, we totally didn't even talk about how the Khandra's final their I can't remember what it's called in the book, but like basically how they have to just all.
Yeah. We didn't talk about that. The end of the species, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's all. my thoughts on that are, holy shit.
Holy shit.
Did not see that coming.
No, not even a little bit.
Oh my god, also the Lord Ruler.
Yeah, we didn't really touch on book 1 like at all, actually.
Well, everything I said in when we were talking about book 1 about the Lord Ruler, I would like to take back.
Do you remember when we were talking about book 1 and you were sharing your feelings and I was like,
yeah. Like, he definitely did some bad shit.
He did some bad shit.
I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
He was not equipped to handle the task.
Yeah, I totally
and
agree
he
with you.
did the best he could.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. Could we've done any better in his situation?
No.
Exactly.
I couldn't
That's how I feel.
I'm
about
stupid. I would have got the god power and been like, what if all the lakes were Jello? Something like that, you know?
Yeah. I'd be absolutely.
Like, what if sinks spit out sparkling water instead of regular water?
You know what? A plan.
I would not have tried to move the planet.
No.
I'd have been like, it's fine where it is, bro.
Let's worry about our drinking water.
Yeah.
Who cares about the
I'm gonna make AC exist. I'm not moving the damn planet. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. He did the best with what he had.
Yeah. Also, though, I don't think I would. I would like to think that if I got the power, I wouldn't want it.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like that's too much. That's too much. I
don't want that responsibility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But then it's like I've never really had power.
Sure. So you don't know the draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I honestly don't know what I would do.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know myself that well.
I mean, I've had power at like a job. Like I've been like a manager.
Sure.
And most of the time I'm like, I don't want to be a manager anymore.
Take me away.
I want to go back to being regular style employee, you know?
Yeah. I guess you could maybe say I have power as a parent.
Yeah.
And I feel similarly.
Yeah.
Most of the time I'm like, please, someone else make these choices.
Yeah.
Someone else come in and make these decisions for me because I don't want it.
Yeah, it takes a how do I want to say this? A very specific type of person to like actually want that power.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is why Sazed was the perfect hero of ages.
I totally agree.
End of the video.
And the name of our Lord and Savior Sazed. Amen.
All right, later.
Love you guys.